Many people want to support us. Na wakadama mesede. Na won check down obohu tanks bi wo. Obobo mehu all certain amount bi apeditua. Ebohu euros, ebohu pounds. Mebe fe bia no so slow or as high bia. Ni wia bomazena cost buy and send hono. Buy and send is me atwane kakra. E twene kakra ma so process ni nyina na so bia. Ebohu da obo bring up drop down menu bia ebotum ni choose the payment method they pay choose. Ni wia ni nyina na wa iska. Thank you for supporting us. Ya mention bebre.
Now, the time at force in the case in the bay, a Jawako Cotti. Yet since be there, some NDC Fubi no what name on the social media space there. Attorney General Pedo Gonifia Sam. As some the son on Yanakor, Nanakon Abades or from Yafa from a Kuska. Or was an issue video business and can be in your comment section.
So when everybody went to court today, they had also the lawyers for Jakpa also, I think it was lawyers for Atuforson rather. They had a tape, some tape that they brought to court. And they were hoping that in making their oral arguments, they will be allowed to play the tape so that the court may hear it. The tape then will evidence the points that Jakpa made. We suspect that it's the same tape that Asedun Katia played. That is the same tape that they had. However, her lordship bust all of us our bubble when she said that, anyway, I'm not going to hear arguments over this matter. And that's clearly part of the procedure. Any judge can do that. It's part of the procedure. There's no problem with it. And lawyers are very familiar with that. With the judge saying that I'm not going to hear arguments. I have your affidavit in front of me. I'll read it and I'll make my ruling. That's what she said. She opted for that angle. We don't know why, but she's entitled to do so. So that's what happened. So, well, I mean, those of us who went to the court, we are journalists. We are looking for a story. We really didn't get the story we were looking for. We all went out and were doing, this madam to Abba, etc. Anyway, so she didn't hear arguments. However, she had one line of arguments because Tadiosori here had raised issues against the deposition of the Attorney General. The deposition is the document that Attorney General wrote in response to it that I, the Attorney General, am so and so and so and so. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. So somebody has told me something I verily believe him to be true, etc., etc. Tadiosori said that there are paragraphs of the deposition in there that the person who deposed to these facts should not be allowed to depose to the facts. Now, he sounded quite intelligent when he was speaking, isn't it? So he said that the chief state attorney should not be the one to depose the facts for the Attorney General. He should not be the one to. Attorney General should write it himself. And this evening on radio, they had been saying that the Attorney General was running away. And that is why he got somebody else to do it. Was he running away? He was in court himself. He stood there. He granted interviews that we'll show to you. He was there. He was right there in court. How was he running away? Anyway, the reason why, and some lawyers know this because it's part of the procedure, the reason why the Attorney General got somebody to depose to it, we have found out from his people, is very simple, apparently. It's because he was unaware that the judge will say, I don't want oral arguments. So he was prepared to make the oral arguments himself. In that circumstance, he didn't want to be the same person deposing to the affidavit. Because if he did, then perhaps he may not be able to make the argument. So he wanted somebody else to do it so that he will stand on his feet and deliver the arguments himself. This is the simple reason. And I don't know whether they don't know that this is part of the procedure, that the deposition has to be done in a certain way that allows you to speak. And the way to do the deposition that allows you to speak is that you ought not to depose to it yourself. I don't know whether they don't know this. Everybody knows it. Everybody should know it. So this is the reason, viewers, forget about everything you heard. And they are on Facebook and they do. Attorney General is running away. He's running away from what? The guy was in court. He was standing there. He was prepared to deliver the argument. And the ladyship said that I don't want arguments today. I will look at it and I'll rule on Thursday. So what is running away? So please tell them that the reason why the Attorney General did that was because he wanted to speak himself. He didn't want somebody to speak for him. He wanted to speak himself. And that's why he did that. Anyway, during the argument, Tadiosori here raised that point that the person who deposited to the thing is not the same person. He doesn't have the information the person doesn't have the information. However, if you look at the deposition, and we can show it, in paragraph 1, the person says that all the things that he's deposing to have come to his knowledge by reason of the job that he does as a state attorney. The matters have come to his knowledge. So the matters are within his knowledge. But well, Tadeo Sorry said, and the Attorney General was able to argue and oppose that. No, the guy says the things are within his knowledge. Then the Attorney General says something else. In bringing up this objection, Tadeo Sorry, his lordship, relied on CI 47. Is a law called CI 47. It encapsulates the civil procedure rules. So quickly, an objection was raised in court again by the Attorney General. What is he talking about? This is a criminal trial, which has its own rules. The Criminal Offences Act in 29 and the Criminal Procedure Act in 30 are there to govern the criminal law and the criminal procedure. Fundamentally that. There's something else that governs civil law. So what is criminal? Criminal is a police matter, a prosecution. That's criminal. Civil is me and you, we are fighting over land. Me and you, we are fighting over property. Me and you, we are fighting over car. Me and you, we are fighting over inheritance. Me and you, we are fighting over Metro TV. Somebody and somebody fighting over GTV, etc., etc. That's civil. It doesn't involve prosecution, okay? Even though we can use the English word prosecution loosely to say that a matter is being prosecuted. But when we use a technical expression prosecution, that means that somebody has offended the Criminal Offences Act and the state is prosecuting. That's what it means. So the rules that govern that are outlined in the Acts 30 and Acts 29. Of course, right now we say as amended, because since 1960, both have been heavily amended. Act 29 and Act 30. Act 29 is the Criminal Offences Act. Act 30 is the Criminal Procedure. And so now we have Act 29 as amended. And then there's the Criminal Procedure. So the Criminal Procedure governs criminal procedure. The Attorney General was at a loss why his lordship Tadeo Sorry was citing the civil procedure rules to govern criminal. So there was a bit of, jostling in the court. It was a very beautiful scene, and you would have to applaud the Attorney General. I mean, his sense of sharpness, standing on his feet to raise these objections against Tadeo Sorry, it was admirable. But anyway, it's admirable for everyone, because if you have an Attorney General like that, who is the Minister for Justice, it works, doesn't it? It works. Okay, so the judge listened to both of them and said that will also form part of her ruling on Thursday. So Thursday is D-Day, viewers, and we will be there. We'll be there plenty. We'll be there all over the place, and then we'll bring you what happened.
Just as NDC was paying me to insult people for them. Do you have a problem with that? I am honest, and I don't care how you feel. NDC was paying me to insult people. So if NPP is paying me to communicate wisdom, you should appreciate it. Won't you? You have to appreciate it. You need to appreciate it. The difference is clear. I mean, because the difference is crystal clear. NDC was paying me to fight for Jomama. NDC was paying me to fight people. NDC was paying me to insult people. So if NPP is paying me to communicate wisdom and national interest, you need to appreciate them. I think that is enough reason for you to vote for them. Don't you think so? And if your mother have any iota of my intelligence, probably they will pay her to do communication, because they don't pay stupid people to go and talk. They don't pay stupid people to go and talk. If your mother has any intelligence or communication skills, I'm sure your mother will be paid to talk for a political party or an individual. Communication is a skill, is a talent we acquire from school. What you say? It's a skill. So maybe some of you that always ask, what do I do for a living? I just told you. I work for politicians. I work with both NDC and NPP. I work with NDC and NPP. I work with both of them. And I'm saying it again. NDC pays me to go and insult people. That's what they do. And I realize it's not helping the country. That's what they do. NDC pays me to insult people. And it's not helping the country. Bleeding is allowed. Bleeding is allowed. Bleeding is allowed. Do you want to hear it again? I say NDC pay me to insult people. NPP pay with my life. And so as a human being, I made a choice. As a human being, I made a choice. And I chose to do the right thing, not to fight foolish people. Fight for foolish people who does not appreciate you. Don't bring your foolishness. This is the last place. Maybe when you are if you're a political foot soldier, this is your last place. This is your last place. I'm a fierce nigga. I'm a bitch. I'm communicating wisdom, and you will listen. And you will listen with both ears. Asabi, don't block anybody. Mute them. They have to listen. They have to listen that the best thing that happens in this country is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. They will listen. You will listen. You will listen with both ears. Yes, because the country is moving forward. Digitalization over guinea fowl. We will choose digitalization. We will choose digitalization. We will choose the fact that obi jimia yetini BCCTV camera. I'm a police coach, We will choose that over our missing guinea fowls. We will choose that. We will choose that over bus branding. We will choose that. I am telling you the gospel truth. We will choose Ghana card at best anytime. Because if we give Ghana card at birth, 18 years from now, yenya court bianko. Yenko court say ye electoral petition that will be a because will be will be. Only idea won't call no akoto aba. Meti Ghana, meti America. Omo nkoto aba ma menye menim say obi amadi aya wo kejeti ase me koto bi because me ni ID. This is what we are choosing. But we're choosing free education. We're choosing free education. Free SHS in T and then open house girl kwa wunyebi. We will choose that. We will choose that over bus branding. We will choose that. We will choose that over taking women to Brazil. We will choose that. Listen, we will choose digitalization every day over taking women to Brazil. We will choose that over Mutaka using our money to chew chinchinga and coming to cry. We will choose that. We will choose that over Saglema housing project. We will choose that. Free education under tree is better. Free education under tree, they are still getting education. Education, it doesn't care where you acquired education. It doesn't care. My father went to school without wearing shoes, but he became an accountant. My papa, or the 9 ACC form. My father was trained, my biological father, my father, he was trained by missionaries. My papa, or the 9 ACC form. My papa, or the 9 NACC form, Eco School. He became an accountant who has given birth and risen a tough, strong asset for the country Ghana, like me. Yes. You are still stepping solo because you're on my life. Thinking that you stood solo, you're on my life. May say free education under tree. The bottom line is education, not where you get it. Are we not doing online schools now? Are we not sitting in our room? Are we not sitting in our room acquiring education? They say yente dema yete computer so suade ana. Yente dema yete computer so suade ana. Are we not? Omoma che SHS kra esi biase. High school ba ko esi biase. Omoma ma kire. And na time na NDC wo power no. Na school no na ni ho. Ana na ni dua na se. Na na do ba ye no this school na ko si dua na se. 90s for the school ni si dem. And na do ba ye ko yi si dua na se ana. Mi busamo. And this way, as you are asking, as you are busy saying, say ye free SHS and the tree no me pacho mu si dan de wo mu gu mu ena na na do ba okoyi wo mu gu dua na se ana no mu gu dua na se ena mu dis kan ko penti bars. I will wait. We will not insult you. We will have intellectual discourse. Intellectual discourse is what we are here to have. Now that you are quick to point schools under trees, were they under trees when a free anchor was packing women to Brazil? Were they under trees there? Were they, and answer you with them, Nana Dubai Mobe school.